Hi again. This is Conversations with Chris and Crystal, and we are here today to, share our opinions, our thoughts. Love to hear from you. We have come into some information. People talking about Red for Ed, talking about teachers in the schools having an opinion, and we thought we would go ahead and share our situation here and what we think of that. Chris,
Well,
roll it over to you.
I have taught in various incarnations, but not in like school-age children situations. I've taught adults before, but I just got this job in August teaching school-age kids, 7th and 8th graders to be specific. And I was absolutely thrilled because it's the most money I have ever made in my entire career. And I worked for lawyers, and you're supposed
Yes.
to make good money there. But I mean, I've got health insurance is paid by the employer here. I've got 13 weeks vacation. I mean, you never get that in the business world. So I've never understood why these teachers have always been whining and complaining. Oh, I don't get paid enough. Oh, I don't have this and that. I have to have another job. Well, to me, if you have to have another job or in the summer or whatever, then you just don't know how to budget.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah. Or like I said, if it's all about the money,
Then why are you doing it?
then don't do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's plenty of other things that you can do with that degree, and do well, and do much more. I don't know why it has been. I mean, I remember we had 35 kids in our 5th grade class. So we were overcrowded as well, growing up, and I mean that's 100 years ago at least. So I don't know how. I guess, and my mother went and worked at a high school after I graduated from high school, and she came home and she said, "Now I know why you dressed the way you did, because the teachers dressed so poorly." And part of that is, I guess, because they don't have enough money to buy clothes. I'm not sure that's really it, because I had some teachers that were really great dressers.
I'll tell you one thing. This whole thing about teacher shortages. I'll tell you why there's teacher shortages. It's because they have these stupid requirements that people have to go through to get a teaching certificate in order to teach. Why do you need a teaching certificate? If you've done the stuff, you know what you're doing.
Yeah, if you have the curriculum that they want you to follow, and you're capable of following a recipe, you should be fine. That should work out just fine. I'm sure there are people who don't get along with children. They wouldn't be there.
Well, yeah, they do a background check on you. You have a fingerprint card, which means the FBI has checked you out and made sure that you're not some kind of weird criminal
Right.
fiend. But, I mean, there's really no reason to have a certification unless just because the state wants more money out of you.
Yeah, it's crazy. But I had a girlfriend who she got a degree in teaching and went into teaching, and that didn't last very long because she found out she didn't like children, which she doesn't have any either. So she went in. She's doing nails. She's a nail tech, and that works well for her. She's happy,
So
very
she
happy.
spent all that money to get the teaching certificate and
yes.
everything, and just to find out she didn't want to do it.
Yeah.
See, and that's the other thing. They should make it so you can like dip your foot in and see if you want to do it.
Yeah, they really. Well, I think don't they have when you go to school for it,
Oh,
they
yeah.
have the student teaching
Yeah,
thing.
yeah. There's that.
But again,
yeah.
you've already gone through all the schooling by the time you get to the student teacher teaching thing, where you're sitting in there with them.
Yeah, you would think.
I think you really have to have some heavy duty testing before you take the time.
And that's another thing. If you do the student teaching, then that means that teacher in that class has a free gopher, basically, because that's what they do with those student teachers is here, run this to the office, do this, do that.
Yeah,
You
that's
know,
true.
and you're not getting paid when you
That's
student
true.
teach.
Yeah, right.
So,
Ugh. Yeah. So we were looking at
the website for Red for Ed.
Yeah, Red for Ed,
Which,
was
of course,
some
started
time
in
back, yeah.
California. No surprise.
Shock.
California is the cause of all our problems.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. So
So we were reading this, and they don't say anything. It's like that. What do you call it when people speak and say nothing?
yeah, it's
know?
amazing. Yeah, no, well, you are such a good writer. And so for her, her reading this and she will read it for you is painful, and to say the very least. So go ahead.
Okay, so here we go. Red for Ed. Raising our voices together, protecting public schools. Red for Ed is a movement of educators fighting for the public education our students deserve. And what does that
They
say?
didn't say anything. Yeah, it really, I mean, they're fighting for education. Well, we've been fighting for education all of our lives because we're a country of, being educated. We are a merit system. You become educated and therefore you succeed or you move on. Go ahead.
What is Red for Ed? When we think about the promise of education today, we see the future leaders of our nation and the qualified educators who reach, teach, and inspire them. We see classrooms with modern tools that help students prepare to make an impact on the world. We see students getting the support they need to thrive and educators having the support they need to serve. Well, yes, we all see that. So what is Red for Ed?
Yeah, we didn't come up with the answer there either. Yeah,
Then it says,
still.
Red for Ed is a movement of educators who will put everything on the line to make this dream a reality for every student, regardless of zip code.
Public school already does that. They're already in every zip code.
What's everything that you're putting on the line?
Yeah, it just we're willing to go out there with guns and shoot each other or everything. Death.
I bet they're not willing to put their salary on the line.
Yeah. Well, I mean, just a little lightness. I would just like to throw in here. My favorite was my 5th grade teacher with the oversized class. She had a meltdown one day, which didn't happen very often with her, but I remember her standing in front of us saying, "What do you think I am as a teacher?" She goes, you think I live on hot air?" And I can honestly say I did. I sat there in awe of, "You don't? I have a house. I have children. I'm married. I have pets. Pets. Oh, what a scary thought for a woman like that to have pets. I just thought they were there to make our lives miserable. Because I think they must have been miserable.
Oh yeah, and I think a lot of teachers are miserable, and they don't really care about the students, no matter what they tell you.
Yeah, they really don't. Yeah, I don't see that. I'm trying to think back now. I remember some teachers getting annoyed with me because I wasn't good enough to be in their class, whatever it was. That was the 7th and 8th grade. And
so they're, yeah, Crystal, can you see up my nose?
Yeah, well, you may be looking down your nose at me, but I can see up your nose at you. School was, I actually was really good at it. I liked it, but I'm one of those people that I beg the question with some of the teachers and the principals and dean of students. Really? What were you thinking? What were you thinking when you were teaching us? And that's a whole other thing. Oh, yeah. So moving on to Red for Ed.
Okay, so then they go with, we see progress and hope, but we also see budgets being cut, overcrowded classrooms, and outdated materials. We see educators working around the clock to make a difference in the lives of their students and standing up to lawmakers to ask for better pay and school funding. Again, with the better pay. We're raising our voices together for our students, for our schools, and for ourselves as educators. 1 out of 5 educators must take another job to make ends meet. So again, you don't know how to budget, do you? 71% of people think teachers are not paid enough. Well, they've just listened to all the hype. Because
they have that, we might as well have cheerleaders out there hyping this so that people go, oh my goodness, we're not paying them enough.
Well, that just goes to prove that propaganda works, because the
does.
Teachers are always, I don't get paid enough. I don't get paid enough. Well, excuse me, but yeah, I get paid enough.
More than enough, and she's thrilled. Yeah, absolutely thrilled.
16% less funding goes to districts with the highest poverty.
Poverty, yeah. Yeah.
Is that what I said? Poverty?
I didn't hear it quite right.
Poverty.
I heard property, and I was like, poverty. Poverty. Yeah. Go ahead.
That's why we wear red for Ed. Our movement is committed to fighting for our students. Budget cuts and underfunding have made it harder for educators to prepare their students. I don't see how.
What?
Our students deserve better, and so do we. That's why we push public officials to make funding decisions that better account for school needs. Now, see, here's where it gets me too. If this teacher's getting paid the salary,
right,
you have your books and things in place. In our case, we use this thing called Beyond Textbooks. It's all online. So they could just go to that. they don't have to buy books and stuff. Our kids don't even open a book most of the time.
Right.
So,
But it almost sounds like if you listen to how they're wording it, it's like, oh, look what we're doing for our students at the same time helping us. Because budget cuts.
oh yeah, our
and-
students deserve better, and so do we.
Yes,
Well-
yes. we're throwing that in there that we are telling you, yes, we want what's best for the students, but yeah, it's more about them.
But my point is, if you've already got these things in place, what more money do you need?
Yeah, no, I agree. I don't know. I mean, if the schools can't, I mean, the teachers aren't going to go out and buy. If the teachers want to get supplies, I mean, I can't believe that the public schools don't have supplies. I'm confused.
And that's the other thing. Teachers get discounts. It's almost like they're first
Yeah,
responders.
they
They
do.
get these discounts wherever you go. Oh, you're a teacher here. Let me give you a discount. You know, all the perks they get, and they just keep
Yeah.
whining about stuff.
I know.
And
That's-
and yeah, but like we were saying, you know, when we were kids, the school gave parents a list of school supplies that the
you
kids had to
get.
have.
Yeah.
And nowadays, it's like the teachers are always whining, oh, I have to buy all this stuff for the class. Well, no, you don't. You
Yeah,
choose to do
yeah,
that.
Yeah.
And that's, you know, if
If
you
there's
want to do
something more you
that.
want, yeah, that's your prerogative. I don't remember teachers bringing anything else into it because I worked in the school store, and this is elementary school, and I worked with the room that had all of the construction paper and all of that kind of stuff. I mean, it was limited. I can see that, but you shouldn't really need more than that to teach. I wouldn't
Yeah,
think.
and that's the other thing. Why do you need so much stuff
Yeah.
to teach?
Yeah.
I mean,
We had really creative teachers, you know. They had us kids do the bulletin boards for them. You know, there's just all kinds of things that you can do that are really creative. Maybe not everybody has that creative edge.
yeah, clearly.
Just checking. Okay.
So the next thing they say is upholding our values. Students benefit from educators who know them by name, know their community, and have a say in the policies that govern their schools. We must ensure that talented educators can afford to stay in the profession they love. They can afford it.
They can afford it, and honestly, you know, the profession they love. Boy, let me tell you, if I had been an admin and I love to be an admin, I think people should pay me more just because I love
Oh
it.
yeah, you should walk out. That's the other thing. These teachers, they go on strike, they walk out. How is that helping their students?
Yeah, but again, they're using the guise of helping students to help themselves, and like we were talking about. Okay, well, if that doesn't work for you, then don't be a teacher. If it's all about the money, don't be a teacher. There's so many more, industries.
And in my opinion, if it's all about the money, be a teacher because they get paid really good.
Well, and the vacation time and all
Yeah.
that stuff. I remember I have a friend whose wife worked in like in the office of a school in computers or something, and yeah, she had every summer off. It was like, wow, yeah, that would be totally awesome.
Yeah, I can't think of another profession where you get as much time off as you do as a teacher.
Yeah, it's amazing. So there's other perks. There's other things that you trade off. Go ahead. Sorry.
Well, and even at that, even if you don't want to look at it as a trade-off, if you think, I think the average starting salary for a teacher is $35,000 to $40,000 a year. But if you think about that, you've got 2 to 3 months off in the summer. So
Yeah.
$35,000 a year. I mean, if you work that out as being $35,000 for 9 months' work,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
that's a good salary.
That
right?
is. That is. That's really good.
So
Because most salaries would be for the 12 months.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
At that amount.
if you're lucky, 2 weeks vacation, and definitely not 2 weeks in the first year. You're lucky
Yes.
if you get
Thank
a
you
week
very
the first
much.
year.
Yes. Absolutely. Okay.
Advocating for change. CTA and NEA gives educators gives. It's two things. It should be give. Yeah. So clearly,
We have other issues.
clearly these teachers don't know anything either. Gives educators a voice to advocate for the better pay, benefits, and working
yeah.
conditions that have long been ignored. We deserve and have earned pay and benefits that match our expertise, education, and professional experience. Well, you know what? That's another thing. Oh, if I get a master's degree, then I'll get more pay as a teacher. Well, again, that's your choice to go to school and get that master's degree. You don't have to have that. You don't
Right.
have to.
Yeah.
And yet you're like, oh, well, I have all this expertise because now I've got this master's degree, so I deserve way more money than what they're going to give me. Well, then don't get the master's degree and stick with the money that you
Yeah,
came
that
in
you're
with.
making, yeah, because that's what you're gonna end up with.
I think at most you get like 5,000 more a year if you have a master's degree. Well, whoop-de-doo.
Yeah, how much did you pay for that master's degree? Not only that, in time as well.
Yeah, so, I'm not looking to get a master's degree. I'll tell you that right now.
So what else have we got here of interest?
So then there's all these people in red shirts, and then spread the word. Oh, looking back at historic, the hashtag or pound sign.
Yeah.
The actual word for that is octothorpe.
Octothorpe. Oh, I like that better, actually. Octothorpe.
Yeah.
Red for Ed. Yeah.
Hear Us Roar is an interactive experience of California's Octothorpe Red for Ed efforts, featuring both historic strikes by members of, strikes. They're going out on strike. That's really helping the students. And through a timeline, and then they're talking about that stuff more. And then suddenly the stalemate ended when 4 assembly members chose a side and stood up for schools with their votes, pushing the total to 42. The final vote tallied 44 ayes and passing AB 1505 out of the assembly. Thousands cheered in unison and then turned to hug the closest person in a red shirt before letting out a sigh and cry of relief. What a bunch of whiners.
Yeah, it just seemed like that was the mess at the time, and
So
then
like-
it started to spread.
So it's like, they're going to give us more money because we whined enough.
Wasn't there a day we didn't do education in this country?
Education, I've been looking into this, and education was supposed to be the purview of each individual state. So your state was supposed to provide the public education. Well,
Okay.
now they've gotten the whole federal government involved, and that's why we're in this
okay.
mess that we're in.
Okay.
Because anytime you involve the federal government in anything,
Yeah.
it's a mess.
Yeah, it won't be the same. That's true.
It should go back to the states. There should be no more Department of Education.
Right.
And so that's about it for that.
That's amazing.
It irritates me that they're standing there patting themselves on the back for doing such horrible things.
Yeah, they may as well burn down buildings. Get in line with the other guys.
Oh, well, isn't that the same state where
Yes.
Black Lives Matter started, or is it?
No, I think it was Minneapolis.
Or maybe it was Antifa that started out there.
Yeah, Antifa might have started there, but yeah.
And it's funny
Lives,
too
yeah.
because Antifa is actually pro-fascism, because fascism, they want a totalitarian government, which
Right.
is what fascism is.
Yeah.
So it's hilarious, and people don't see this because
I know.
all the propaganda. Like I said, the propaganda works. Oh, I'm a teacher. I don't make enough money. Poor me.
Yeah.
Oh, teachers don't make enough money. Did you hear that? We need to do something.
Yes. The government always needs to be doing stuff, and the big stuff is going down the hill and not working anymore. It's interesting. It's interesting how that works, how that goes. That's a whole nother. That's a whole nother conversation. I
Yeah,
need
we'll
to
be
write that
talking.
down.
We'll be talking about our own experiences as students in the educational world in another video.
Yes,
and
yes,
we'd like
absolutely.
to hear your stories too.
Yeah.
So-
Yes. If you have any experiences, but yes, that is for a later date. Okay.
All right.
Well, thank you so much for listening and being a part of it. And let us know any comments below, or feel free to email us with your input and anything that you'd like to know more about that we can help you with. We're the idea coaches, if you will. And
And like I tell my students, I'm not here to tell you what to think. I'm here to tell you to think.
yes, for yourself. Think for yourself. You can take other people's opinions, but please think for yourself.
Yeah. Do your own research.
And stand on your own opinion of things, not somebody else's.
Yeah.
Don't stand on anybody else's. So, okay.
So remember,
Yeah.
take care of
Yourself,
yourself because
nobody else will. Thank you. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
Bye.